The Diary of a Certified Psychopath. 21st of October, 2021. Real life insurance. Having fallen below Strava's old-school outdoor distance target yesterday, I felt twitchy without this top-up in the deposit account. But, truth be told, it was pretty miserable, especially with no serviceable mudguard, and yet somehow at present I'd rather wind with rain than wind and traffic, and not even the slightest risk of all three. The heavens open, you get soaked. They close, you decide to stay out long enough to dry up. Then, just before the last cold, wet patch begins to feel warm and airy, relatively, it buckets down again. So begins a cyclical game of elemental poker with Mother Nature's willful weather gods, as viciously circular as the loop I got stuck in during this ride, though it really does work rather well in a nocturnal northeasterly wind. External exactitude. Well, not a great deal more than what was required, and hopefully enough to stave off nocturnal attacks of restless leg syndrome. Gloved up, partially plain-clothed, and with a puffer jacket to prevent the irreversible Zone Zero chill whenever forced to stop at what were, thankfully, mostly favourable lights. Worryingly cold, but wonderfully windless. Past most traffic en route to Worthing, despite a relatively modest pace. Beat a lone electric scooter on my return, of the kick kind, that pedestrians hate even more than bikes. 22nd of October, 2021. A full night's sleep. Some day I'll get the hang of it. Only a breeze gentle enough to permit riding to the end of your road at a pace greater than that of a brisk walk, and leave enough free senses to focus on thoughts above and beyond staying upright, is serenity too pure to resist, and further, a local phenomenon more often associated with nights, despite what Mystic Met may forecast. As for practically deserted roads during seasons when cars outnumber drivers by day, those Teslas love to get out alone sometimes, and temporary traffic lights that are a far more common sight than urban foxes, to fail to avail would be to forego that fine feeling you are getting away with something, a sensation as stimulating as any life has, and with frequently more costly consequences. Besides these two nuggets of motivation, and ironically, regardless of the still air's fresh chill, I was burning with curiosity to discover exactly what 10 kilometres of continuous coastal cycle path felt like, all to myself, though I always try to share responsibly. Real life roundup. Plain-clothed, puffered up, and now pedalled out. The clamorous crackle, fizz and sparkle of fireworks a week before Halloween, yet not the jolly glow from one grinning jack-o'-lantern in sight. This country sure has its festivities topsy-turvy. Somebody really ought to visit Zwift's wonderful world of Yumizi, where eternally flourishing farmland harvests pumpkins aplenty. Perhaps that's where they've all been hijacked. Darker nights, brighter moons. What wakes first, the mind or the senses? If, as science suggests, the latter cannot exist without the former, then how did the latter know to avoid the fox that danced almost disastrously into my path within this ride's first few pedal strokes? Bottom line, I think science has a lot more to learn than it believes, but then I'm no scientist. I just wanted something vaguely interesting to write in this description box. Enough miles to muse, enough reality to reflect, roll over, and sleep better. Content that I'd also avoided 100 crazy clubbers soaking up several thousand gallons of Campari with 10 tons of kebabs. Enjoy your weekend, spinners. 24th of October, 2021. The sounds of silence. The distant tolling of my town's church bell, a sweet purr of fresh rubber on tarmac, the skittering paws of a scurrying fox, and the rustle of the bush it took shelter in. These, and so many other sonic subtleties that by day would be drowned beneath life's monotonous drone, are, under revealing hush of darkness, as visible to wandering ears as the whirring whisper of my washer-dryer's anti-crease function, which I've little doubt shall prove pleasantly instrumental in lulling me peacefully back to sleep.